of the alcohol. La 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 la. Just line 'em up and we will drink them all. La 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 la. Well, my mother always said, if you want to drink all day, you best start in the morning, son, 'cause that's the Irish way. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. And every other mother will agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. So order up around for you and me. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. And every mother must agree. We don't get drunk, we get awesome. So order up around for you and me. And you and me. And you and me. Let there be whiskey.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris,
I'm Russ.
and this is episode 240.
240, back in the virtual nerd basements, guys. So welcome once again. It's a lovely day here in suburban Detroit.
It was pretty
Hope
good
you all
today.
are having, it got a little warm, but it wasn't too terrible. And we had the weekend was really nice.
Weekend was gorgeous.
Oh, it was gorgeous. So it's just nice to be back and just kind of talking.
Yep,
It's at least we're not cooking in our own juices right now.
That's true.
I did. I don't know if you didn't. I don't think. I think this happened. Yeah, like Wednesday or Thursday. Unfortunately, last week I had to replace my air conditioning unit.
Oh, like your central air?
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep. It was quite pricey, and nothing like coughing up $3,600 that you didn't think you were going to have to do. So thankfully, my buddy that I had I had a friend replace it for me, and he kind of gave me a little deal, and it was kind of nice. And but it was still a lot,
Mhm.
It was the original person that had like gave me an estimate. It was like 45, I think it was. So my friend helped me out a lot, so it was pretty cool. But that's a big chunk out of your savings that you didn't expect, So
Yeah, Renee just said at least you were able to get someone out.
yeah, well, it was it went out on, I think it was Wednesday. Stella noticed that it was getting warmer in the house, and they hadn't
So just before the storms.
pretty much, yeah. It was getting warmer in the house, and we didn't know what was going on, and so I cranked up. I could feel cool air, but it wasn't blowing. It was just more like kind of seeping out,
Mhm.
So the guy came out and took a look at it. We were able to call. There's an HVAC place right, like literally walking distance from the house. So I had them come out, and we took a look at it, and he was like, okay, your unit is about 15 years old, and that's about the lifespan, 15, 16 years old. So, and the Freon that this one uses has been discontinued and has been phased out. So you could put a Band-Aid on this and replace the Freon unit, the Freon for this unit. And if you could find it, if you can find a company that still has some, and you could find it, it'll probably run you about $1,500. So you can either, put this expensive Band-Aid on it, knowing you're going to have to replace this within probably the next year or so anyway, or you could do this now. And my friend did also confirm that. He's like, well, he's not mistaken on that one. So, yeah, it was rough, so I had to cough up that money, and I was like, man, but what are you going to do? That's the joys of home ownership, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. We got to send out our posts.
Could have been a lot worse though. So, but yeah, I mean, Stella said that apparently what had happened, the thing was frozen solid. Like there was just, a solid ice, and it was like 92 degrees out, and the guy came to look at it on Thursday. It was like, yeah, like, and she's like, I was amazed. It was just frozen, completely frozen. And I'm like, huh, that was wild. So yeah, thankfully, my friend was able to come out later on in the day that I had the initial estimate, and was able to get started the next day. But yeah, I mean, for those guys who don't know, yeah, Detroit, after we had huge storms in, I think it was Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then we had another line of storms that came through and just knocked out power all over the state. People are
Well, that was
just
like
now.
yeah, that was like Monday, and then Wednesday, another one on Wednesday, and that one that one came in Wednesday night overnight.
Like way late.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how bad it was until I went to leave for work, and I'm getting up, I'm getting ready like normal.
Yeah.
No problems. We didn't lose power, so I'm getting ready.
Either.
I go to leave. I say goodbye to Renee, who's also getting ready because she had physical therapy that morning, and I open the door and I'm like, I don't think I'm going anywhere because it was flooded halfway up. It was actually almost up to our sidewalk.
Yeah, the flooding was insane. Thankfully there was no flooding in my area and I didn't lose power, but I had a lot of my friends lost power. A lot of people I know. I mean, Paulie Brady, who literally lives about 2 miles away from me, maybe less than that.
I think it's less. I think it's more like a mile.
Yeah, probably
as the crow flies, probably about
as the crow flies about a mile. But yeah, he lost power for like 4 days. I mean, just now people are starting to get power back. And
one of the microbrews we go to over here still doesn't have power, or at least didn't as of yesterday. They still weren't open they lost power on Wednesday and still didn't have it back as of yesterday.
Yeah, it's insane, man. And a lot of people are saying like, they're blaming the storm and things like that. But I've heard a lot of people say that this was a fundamental failure of the infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. Our infrastructure's old.
Yeah. And that is something that needs to be completely redone. So
we have aerial wires everywhere and huge trees.
Yeah. It's we need to fix this shit, like totally needs to be fixed. So yeah, that is going on right now. It's like DTE has been scrambling to try and get this all, get that fixed.
The problem is that redoing all the infrastructure takes a lot of money and people don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because it means your bill's going to go up.
Thankfully, though, the infrastructure bill was passed. So hopefully maybe that'll go towards, helping to fix the infrastructure in this country. I mean, it was something like $4 trillion or something like that. It was crazy amount of money. So anyway, that happened over the weekend, and that was crazy sauce. So how was the rest of your week? What were you up to?
Well, Friday night, I had hoped to actually be able to stream some stuff, but a bunch of people couldn't make it. So Rich from Tavern Nights came over and helped me get things set up, and we got a plan. I still have some work to do before our game, not this Friday, but next Friday, to actually work on and get things set up completely for that game so that we can be ready to go in the nerd basement again.
Exactly. It's gonna be great.
But it was cool. We got the table moved a little. We got an idea of where things need to go. I have to play around with light positioning and things like that to try and keep them out of frame. But it's little things like that. It's the idea that I don't have a studio. I have a basement. Right. And so it's trying to fit things in there. So if you guys come out and watch it, it may not be perfect. It is still just a basement, but it's going to be fun. The top-down camera looks great. That is something I'm really excited about. Awesome. But I still got to set up a bunch of different things. Like I want to do one that's just us role-playing, like I did in the other one, where there's no map. And then there's so that everyone's a little bit bigger, and then there's another one that's going to be smaller, where everyone's going to be smaller, so that we can see more of the map, and then the map will be there too. So I got to play around with how I want to do it and see if there's a way I can actually create like a border, because I don't have any like graphic arts background, and I don't have a whole lot of graphic arts programs. I've got GIMP and stuff, and you can do a lot in GIMP, but I'm still learning it. So it's one of those things where seeing if I can create some frames and put them in and then fit things into them and stuff. So I can have like names. So like you guys will have like assigned seating type of thing. But I can at least have names under people like, Octavian, Maricaris, Klimbrum. Right.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're gonna come up with. You know?
And Bob came over on Thursday and rolled up his character. So
Good. So yeah, guys, we are gonna have a new player. We're still looking for a sixth player.
Yeah.
We're gonna get on that soon.
But 5, I think, is going to be a good number too. So
5's a good number. I just watched the last episode of Exandria Unlimited today, which was great, by the way. For those of you guys who are really want to try and get into Critical Role, this is a great primer for you, because it's only 8 episodes, and it was really great. It was different because a different DM and everything, but they had, for the most part, they had 5 people on the show. I think there were 3 episodes they had a sixth player, but for the most part it was 5, and it was interesting. I prefer 6. I think I like that nice round number. But
all of the stuff that they do now, like on D&D Beyond, and any of the CRs that you see are actually built for 4 characters.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they've actually made it so that everything's based on a 4-character party. Even a lot of modules will say 4 to 6, but if you use 6, then you're probably going to want to boost some of the encounters because they're going to be too easy. Because those two extra really make a huge difference.
Like I said, I still kind of like 6 just because I like playing with a little more people. Mm-hmm. But that's just me.
Well, I like that there's more people to play off of. Combat does take a little longer because you have more people. And we're going to be going back to more of a I roll once for all the bad guys rather than all the bad guys going at different times, which will actually speed things up a little bit too.
Sure, yeah.
So. But anyway, so that was Friday. Thursday, Friday. Saturday, I had my other game online. There were still issues. People losing the map.
We had a tough time when we played last. We're gonna do you think you're gonna go back? We're gonna go back to one of the other systems instead of Forge?
I don't know if I'm going to or not. I mentioned going back to Roll20 on that one, and everyone kind of said, you know what? I still like this. I still think we can use it. What I may do next time is I may kill the audio video and see if that makes a difference. Mm-hmm. We'll just go back to Discord, which is what we were using on Roll20. Mm-hmm. And just talk in Discord. We can do video too, but we normally just do audio. Mm-hmm. And then we'll just have the game going on there and see if that works any better. See if it helps with any of the issues that people are seeing.
Yeah, guys, we dropped. I don't know, for those of you guys who maybe didn't watch the show, we were dropping left and right. Like, it was just, the connection was really terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't great. So, and then Sunday I went and golfed with some friends from the curling club that we went and played out at Oakland University again. We played the other course. I played one of them earlier this year, and we played the other one. Did like a little 3-team scramble, and it was a lot of fun. But holy shit, it was a beautiful day, absolutely gorgeous day for golf. But it was really sunny. I got home and I was dead. I couldn't wake up. I was ready for a nap. I couldn't. Even though I took a little nap and it still wasn't enough, I was completely out of it, to the point where Renee had been gone for 4 days. I wanted to be up when she got home. She got home and I had already been asleep for an hour because I couldn't stay awake.
Well, geez, man.
Yeah, it was. And then yesterday I got like 8-9 hours of sleep that night, and I still was exhausted on Monday. Today I'm a little bit better, but even then, even now I could probably go to bed and just crash out. So
you gotta watch it. You gotta get your rest, brother.
Yeah.
I wasn't me this time.
No, it was me. I actually thought I had turned that off.
Well, I'll be damned. That's got to be one of the first.
It's not the first. I've done it. I've done that before.
No. I mean, one of the first times it's been you and not me.
Oh. So how was your week? Outside of having to replace the air conditioning unit.
Yeah, my friends. Well, that was the other reason why I needed to make sure that I had the new AC, is because my friends from Florida came in.
They're from Florida. They're used to the heat.
No, that's not true, man.
A Floridian's natural habitat is air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
Just like an Arizonian.
Yep, that's what's.
Is it Arizonian or Arizonan?
Arizonan.
Arizonan.
Arizonan. Mm-hmm. Arizonian is way too much of a mouthful. But yeah, that was what Scott Mullen. That was what Scott Mullen made it very clear to us about. It's like, no, the natural habitat for a Floridian is air conditioning. So I wanted to make sure my friends Linda and Gabby and Chris were comfortable for the weekend at the very least. Linda and Gabby will be staying with me for the length of the Ren Fair. Chris was just here to help Linda. It's Chris's husband, or Linda's husband, Chris, was just here for the weekend to make sure that they got situated and squared away. And so they'll be here, and I didn't want them to be uncomfortable, even though the staying in the basement, it's naturally going to be cool no matter what. I still wanted to make sure that they'd be comfortable, and then of course Stella as well, because I know that she Princess Stella would not stand for zero air conditioning. One of the hottest weekends of the year, because it was pretty rough for a couple of days there.
Well, this weekend wasn't bad though.
But the weekend wasn't bad, but Thursday and Friday was.
I mean, Saturday, actually, I had the windows open in the house all day because it was just gorgeous. It was only like 73, 74 degrees.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, you're right. Yeah, like Saturday and Sunday were just absolutely beautiful. I mean, like we went up to the festival grounds on Saturday, and then we kind of hung out and did things on Sunday and stuff. And it was like, I mean, it was just gorgeous. And it was funny, like unfortunately, we went up to the festival site to check on the mermaid tank and whatnot. And we stirred up a ground nest of like yellow jackets, and they were fucking nasty because they were these little itty bitty guys, man. And I got stung once in the face. Not a big deal. I'm not allergic, so I mean, it stung for a while, but I was fine. Linda got hit like 10, 11 times.
Oh shit!
And she's mildly allergic, so. Like all of the stings the next day were the size of pancakes. I mean, she had, big old lesions that were just like monstrous, And so that was why Sunday we kind of took the day, because she was just like, she felt she was just completely out of it. But that was pretty much my weekend there. We did get things set up yesterday. They got some stuff set up like yesterday and today as well.
Why didn't it announce it? I just got a thing saying that we got a new follower on Twitch, but it didn't announce it on here.
Well, okay. It still only says 45 followers on my page. Weird.
Yeah. That is.
Latest follower still says fragilities.
Yeah, I know. It's Foregathers is supposedly following us now. I just got an email. Yeah. And it's not showing up here. That's weird. I'll blame it on Slobs again. The Streamlabs OBS. Okay. Streamlabs OBS Slobs. It's what it's short for.
I see. So, but anyway, the weekend was nice, and then back to work, on Monday and everything, and just kind of we're moving along. We've got more floats to build. We've got more people starting up to work. My hours are going to be getting a bit later now. Like today, I was there till 6, so I mean it's going to get later. So we're gonna moving into those longer hours, man.
Yep.
So what are you drinking?
Tonight, I am drinking a beer from Three Floyds, which is now available here in Michigan. Thank the beer gods. I love Three Floyds Brewery. I think they're fantastic. They're the only good thing I can say about Indiana. They have several beers that I really like. I've done a couple of them before on the show, like Zombie Dust. I think I did Alpha King, the draft that I had from when they started putting stuff out in draft in bars and stuff and restaurants before they actually started doing their bottles here by about a month or two. And so I actually had some Alpha King, which is a really good pale ale, at Brown Iron Brewing, which is a little brew pub here. But this one that I found when I went out looking for Alpha King, actually, in bottles, this is called Munsterfest. And that's you can't really see it because of the glare, but there we go. That's a little bit better. You can see it's like Godzilla fighting some
Oh, I can
others.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I saw that at the store the other day.
And it's an Oktoberfest style. And what is it? Oktoberfest style lager. And it is the perfect color for an Oktoberfest. I mean, that coppery color is just absolutely perfect. It's got just a small amount of a head. It has a very malty aroma with that little bit of it's got that little bit of lager stink. But
Lager stink. That's
yeah, it's there. A lot of
that's a
lagers have a
technical
little
term.
the malts overpower it, but you can tell that it's there. It really does. It smells like a an Oktoberfest though. I'm gonna take a sip here because I haven't actually drank any of this one tonight. I had one the other
Right
on Friday when Rich came over.
And
This is a really good example of an Oktoberfest. It might even be if there's any downside to it, it might be a little too lagery, and then
okay.
it's got that lager aftertaste. But it's got it's got a lot of the malt flavors, and I believe the Oktoberfest actually isn't a lager; it's actually an ale. So this is a little different. Um, It's but overall, it's really good. If you like Oktoberfest, which are very malty beers, there's very little hops in them whatsoever. At least as far as the flavor goes, they're there to balance things out. But
Mhm.
you don't get that hop punch like you do with a pale or a even a lot of the lagers. They still have a lot of the hop flavor.
Okay.
You don't get that with this. Um, but yeah, this is really good. I'd probably give this one 3.5 bottle caps. It's good if you like Oktoberfest, definitely try it out. I will say that if you
Okay.
get your hands on some Three Floyds Munster Fest, um, it's worth drinking. I will drink this again. It's not out of the three that I have. This is probably my least favorite, but I'm a hophead, so I love pale ales and IPAs. So, but this one here I think is really good.
Okay. Fantastic.
What about you? What are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking something a little different tonight. I don't believe it's considered. Yeah, it's not. It's not a cider and it's not a mead. It's a cocktail.
Old
This
Smoky.
is called Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine. It's an apple pie ginger moonshine cocktail made with Old Smoky moonshine. It's a 9%. It's 18 proof liqueur. It is it's pretty tasty here. It says our apple pie ginger combines real Old Smoky moonshine distilled in Tennessee with the flavors of baked apple pie and spicy ginger ale. Enjoy this lightly sparkling moonshine cocktail, chilled or over ice, and don't forget to share it with your friends. It's nice. It's lovely, honestly. Like I said, it's a little higher alcohol content than I'm used to, particularly since I haven't eaten yet.
So it could get
Um,
interesting.
I'm not that much of a lightweight. It does have a very strong ginger taste, which is good, but which is evident because ginger is a very difficult flavor to mask. You know, you put ginger in almost anything, you're going to taste it.
Mhm.
But the sweetness of the apple pie comes through pretty well, actually. And but it is definitely, I can taste the alcohol is definitely a higher content, and it's for sure a liqueur. It's a cocktail as opposed to, you know, like a cider. So guys, you want to check this out? Old Smoky Moonshine, man, Tennessee Moonshine. I caught it. I got it at the bottle shop. You're gonna have to find it there. I sold it in a 4-pack. It's not bad, not bad at all. I definitely picked this up again. So
Cool.
yeah, nice change.
Very cool. All right.
Tasty.
So you with the Old Smoky picking your teeth. It's like,
I think I
man, you're
got something in my
just like you're down south. Um, Yeah, that's great, Russ. Yeah, I'm sure the viewers love that.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah. Please don't do that to our viewers. That's the way.
Sorry.
That's the way to get people to
Sorry.
stop following us.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. I'm from
Sorry.
Canada now. So you had the Old Smoky apple pie ginger, and I had Munster Fest. Oops, this way, this side. There we go.
Check it out. So yeah.
Yep.
Let's move on,
So,
man.
yeah. So Free Guy opened this weekend.
I am hearing wonderful things. I heard that it's hilarious. They're saying really great things. It's another Ryan Reynolds masterpiece, from what I'm hearing.
And you were saying there's tons of cameos in it too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like called his buddies, basically. From what I understand, you got Hugh Jackman has a cameo.
Oh, of course.
Channing Tatum, The Rock. Who else? Couple of other big. What's his name from The Office? He played Jim on The Office. And he's on that Jack Ryan show.
Oh, John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, thank you. So he's in it.
I think it's John Krasinski.
Yes, I think you're right. I believe you're correct. I believe John Krasinski. I just saw like a post on
Krasinski. John Krasinski.
Krasinski. Yeah. Our bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, like some pretty big names make some cameos appearances in the film. So that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, it's getting really, really good reviews. People are loving it. It looks fucking hilarious. I'm in, man. I'm totally down. Totally in. I'm gonna catch it as soon as I can.
Cool. Auntie Dawn said she took her nephew to see it, and they got the D-box seating, and it was fun. They both enjoyed it.
Good.
Cool.
I mean, it is definitely it is one of those movies that it's not necessarily like, it's not Deadpool where you're going to be, although it's from the same people that made Deadpool. It doesn't have the language and stuff, from what I understand.
Well, the thing is, it opened in the number 1 spot.
Right.
Big surprise. It brought in $28.365 million,
which isn't bad during the pandemic.
Yeah.
For sure.
So just under 28.4. Suicide Squad in its second week dropped to number 5
dramatically. Yeah.
And brought in just under $7.5 million.
Yeah, unfortunately, Suicide Squad cost $200 million to make, and it's made about $50 million so far.
Well, but part of that, though, is that they also released it on HBO Max. So
correct.
A lot of people are going to choose to watch it there. And they can't count that against them, because that's what I did. Do I want to see it on the big screen? I wouldn't mind, but it's not one that I'm going to run out and see. I still want to see Black Widow if I can. And I want to see Free Guy. So those are two movies that I'm not going to watch on my TV right now, because I'm not paying the $30 to watch Black Widow. No matter how much I want to see a Disney Marvel movie, I'm not paying $30 to see it.
I agree.
And then
the only way I'd pay $30 if I had like half a dozen people in here watching it,
and they were all chipping in $5.
Right. Because that's what people are assuming, right? Paying that $30 to see it in your house, you're paying just, more than likely it's more than one person watching it.
Yeah.
And that's what they're banking on. But yeah, no, man,
even for me and Renee to watch it.
No.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna pay that much money to see a movie, I want to see it in the theater.
Yep.
I
don't have the movie quality surround sound.
Right. I mean, the only time I'm going to pay that much is if I'm getting the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
With it, and even most of the time I don't pay that much for a Blu-ray. So, yeah. And I feel bad because I really want to see the movie. I've heard it's really great, but I'm just not paying $45 to see it at, $45. I'm not paying $30 to see it on my television.
Yeah.
I'll wait until October, because I think that's when it's going to be either on Disney Plus, just normal Disney Plus, or the Blu-rays will be out.
Yeah. Along with that, though, so this is the second time that we've seen a big like superhero blockbuster type movie that's come in at number 1 that then drops drastically in its next week. And the
particular movie that's been very well reviewed and well received. I
Yes.
mean, that's the thing. Suicide Squad has gotten really, really good reviews.
Yes. And the thing is that, so is this the new trend we're going to see going forward? Well, I was going to say post-COVID, but we're still in the middle of COVID, really. Is this the COVID movie going experience, in that the people who want to see it are going to go see it the first weekend, and then after that, it's going to be a trickle?
I think the studios are going to have to reevaluate the way they make money and how they're making the money. Because sorry, that's Dresden. Freaking
Yeah.
My friends aren't quite back, and my friend Thad is older, I think. So I don't think he's met Thad yet. So Dresden was really weird. I mean, somebody delivered something today and he flipped out just at, it was this. It was a delivery tube. And he just
you just gave your address, dude.
Just gave my address. Yeah, send me shit. But anyway, but yeah, and honestly, my high school drama teacher sent me something today. We kept in touch over the years, and he sent me like a poster from one of the plays I was in when I was a kid.
Huh.
Pretty cool. But anyway, Dresden completely flipped out. Just from the tube. He was like, "What is that?" Right. But like I said, right, to go back to the movies, I mean, the Suicide Squad has been pretty much universally well reviewed by critics. It's been well received by audiences. People are liking it a great deal. It just it didn't do well at the theater because of the situation we're in right now. A lot of people aren't going to the movie theaters, particularly with the Delta variant kind of on the upsurge among the unvaccinated. And I think that studios are going to have to reevaluate the way they make the way they think they're making money.
So just to give an idea of what Suicide Squad's doing on Rotten Tomatoes, as of right now, it has a 91% tomato meter out of 308.
That's pretty great.
Only 308 reviews, but still. And then the audience score is 83%.
So yeah, that's great. That's really good on Rotten Tomatoes, man. And it's a shame that they are that all of these things are doing as well because of it.
The audience says thing on here is, the story isn't amazing, but the over-the-top action and sometimes literally side-splitting gags make this Suicide Squad a major improvement.
Yeah. Now there's a big movement for the original one for them to do a director's cut and a recut.
Yeah, but the studio's already said
they've already said that they won't do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, now, I mean, I guess there's like online petitions and stuff trying to get them to do it. So
yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, that was my thing, was that I'm gonna keep an eye on things as we go forward, because we've got Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi. There's no, it's not the SH, it's just Shang-Chi. Okay.
That's I guess the Chinese pronunciation.
Okay, so Shang-Chi coming up in 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how that does. It's right. Labor Day weekend. It's probably going to be a big opening weekend for it, because it's also an original. This is new, and it's actually it's progressing the
storyline.
Phase 4 now.
4, I think it is. I think it's Phase 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really starting the Phase 4 line for movies, and so we'll see what that does. We'll see if it can maintain over multiple weekends.
Well, the initial reactions they're saying the movie is integral to the MCU's future, is what they're saying. And apparently it's getting really, really good initial.
Yeah, I've heard that the come for the action, stay for the family drama, because it's a very family-oriented movie, I guess.
It says, which some are calling one of the best origin stories ever told in the MCU. The movie hits all that Marvel does well: pacing, humor, character, and adds action like we've never seen from the MCU before. Critically, He also mentions that Shang-Chi is integral to Phase 4. Make of that what you will, but for those of us clamoring for another taste of the connected universe moving forward, it's an intriguing beat. And maybe a short list, but here I'm confidently calls Shang-Chi the best superhero film of 21 so far, while adding it features the best martial arts I've seen in a long time. Even fight scene / action sequence is better than the last. Every fight. Drew Taylor also makes a note of the action, describing it as some of the best he's seen in the MCU so far. Most tellingly, however, he draws attention to Simu Liu's lead role. Shang-Chi, according to Taylor, is your new favorite Avenger. That's a hot take we can get behind. It's also aboard the Simu Liu. It's also saying it's perfectly cast. That somebody else did say there's a little more reserved. It says Shang-Chi has some pacing issues. There's a bit of a start-stop feel at times in slow parts. Whatever, you can't have everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's set to release exclusively in theaters on the 3rd of September. So we are right around the corner here. Is it 2 weeks? Looks like.
But yeah, I guess there's a whole lot to do with like it's about the importance of family and overcoming one's legacy, ancestral legacy, because his father isn't a nice guy.
Right. They're also saying that Shang-Chi was one of the original 10 characters that Marvel Studios was built on. Like when they were pitching Marvel Studios, they're like, these are the characters we've got that, that we still have. We still have all of these great characters that haven't been licensed out to other companies, like the Fantastic Four, like Spider-Man, like the X-Men. And Shang-Chi was one of them. Let me see if I can see what the listing of with its cast of actors nearly all of Asian descent. Shang-Chi, pronounced Shang-Chi, maybe more Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi will also expand Marvel Studios' accelerating push for diversity and representation, given the groundbreaking commercial success of both 18's Black Panther and 19's Captain Marvel. That seems like a sound business decision.
His first appearance was in 73, December of 73.
Yeah, Shang-Chi was a character created during the height of the kung fu craze in this country, the kung fu chopsaki movies that they used to call them. He was a direct kind of answer to Bruce Lee, essentially.
So he came out right around the same time that Iron Fist did, and
yeah, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, which is Power Man, and Iron Fist. They were both born out of the blaxploitation and kung fu movies as well, because they were both some of the most popular films that were being made at the time, and they were also very low budget. That's why there were so many of them.
Yeah, and they both, I believe, came out in 73 as well.
Yeah, like Luke Cage was directly a response to like Shaft and those kind of characters. Danny Rand, or Iron Fist, was directly in response to Chuck Norris being the white kung fu master. The white guy that.
Iron Fist was 74.
Okay, so right around the same time.
Yep. 6 months later, because it was May. Well, 5 months later, because it was May versus December.
So originally, it sounds like it says on September 5th of 05, 4 years before Marvel was acquired by Disney, what was then the privately owned Marvel Enterprises renamed itself Marvel Entertainment and completely rewrote its future by officially announcing a plan to produce its own theatrical films, raising $500 million to do so. However, the movie rights to what the world assumed were Marvel's most valuable properties were held at other Hollywood studios. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and Daredevil were at 20th Century Fox, pre-Disney acquisition, of course, with Spider-Man, Venom, and all Spider Family characters at Sony Pictures / Columbia Pictures. The Hulk and Namor were at Universal, and Ghost Rider, the Punisher, and Blade were scattered around other studios. Even Iron Man and Thor were held at Paramount Pictures, who, as a part of the original deal, would distribute 2 films a year for Marvel. Marvel's ambitious and surprising plan relied on a handful of what were then considered and probably impractical value at the time second and third tier intellectual property. The original slate of characters / properties that were intended to become 10 shared universe films was, in the original order of announcement, Captain America, The Avengers, Nick Fury, Black Panther, Ant-Man, Cloak and Dagger, Doctor Strange, Hawkeye, Power Pack, And last but not least, Shang-Chi.
Power Pack?
Mm-hmm.
They going for the grade school?
Hey man, I think it makes sense. You know, a superhero team made up of kids, essentially kids from the age of 8 to 14. Totally makes sense. Or 15, maybe 15 to 8.
I never liked the Power Pack.
I liked the Power Pack when I was a teenager, a kid. I read them a bit. I collected some of their books, and then
I didn't even like the X-Men when they showed up.
Interestingly enough, most of those characters have at least 5 years older, I'd say.
Well, now, so one of the things, you know, you were talking about that and how all these properties were everywhere else. That's because at the time that those were sold off and optioned off to other companies was because Marvel had no intentions of getting into movies back then.
Right, and they sold those rights to make capital because they were struggling at the time. At the time, they were struggling because Marvel had declared bankruptcy at one point.
Yeah, and so I mean, the fact that they were able to start making movies and making really good movies, and to the point where they were making the best superhero movies that we had seen in quite some time.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, which I think are still fantastic, but these were some of the best superhero movies we'd ever seen. And the stories were good, the effects were good, the casting was good. Everything about those movies was really good. Now, I give a lot of credit to the original, like, Iron Man movie to really set things off. And that Favreau, I give him full props. After seeing what he's done with some of the stuff with Mandalorian and stuff, I give him 90% of the props for the original Iron Man. And its success and how good it was.
Favreau was a big part of it, but so was RDJ. Robert Downey Jr.
And I give him the rest of it because he really made that role his own.
Well, he was not only that, but he would co-wrote the film.
Did he? I didn't think he had a writer's credit.
I don't think he actually got the writing credit, but he would it was told afterwards that RDJ did a lot of rewriting of scenes. He did a lot of he helped to write a lot of the scenes and just as they were doing the filming and stuff. So he gets a lot of credit too as to creating the flavor and creating the kind of the feel of what those movies turned into.
Yeah, see, I see here that it's a screenplay by the writing teams of Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby and Art Arkham and Matt Holloway.
He did a lot of improvising. He did a lot of, particularly as the movies got better or progressed. A lot of times it was just like he had a script and he would fucking do what he wanted. I mean, just in the fact, like in the Avengers movie,
that's not writing a movie though. That's just ad-libbing.
I think, later on, from what I understand, a lot they give him a lot of credit for adding to those scenes.
That's like a singer. That's like a singer saying that they wrote a song because they took a song that someone else wrote and changed one word in it.
I still say that he should have a lot of credit in creating the tone of the films.
Yes, but I think that a lot of that also comes from the director, and I think that Favreau did a great job with putting that film together and getting.
I will not debate that. I mean, from what I understand too, though. They were like writing as they were filming. I mean, it was like they had an outline, but it was really difficult for Jeff Bridges, who played Obadiah, because he's used to getting his script and memorizing his lines and having them for when he's ready for filming. And I guess he struggled a great deal because he didn't have any of that at first. And eventually he got to the point where he goes, oh, it's like we're making a really expensive student film. And I've heard him actually say that. And after he kind of got that in his head, he was like, oh, okay, let's do this then, And so, yeah, that's the thing. They would get pages that day or the day before that they were filming because they were writing it as they went, because it was also at a breakneck speed. They were filming and they had to get this out really fast. They wanted, because they had set like a goal for themselves at a very like fast goal to make this movie, film this movie, make this movie, do all the special effects, and get it into theaters as soon as possible. Apparently, the turnaround on Iron Man, originally Iron Man, was huge because they had was super fast because they had a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
But anyway, I think just that movie made everyone want to see every other Marvel movie afterwards.
I think so too. I mean, it had a little help. They had the X-Men movies before them. They had the Spider-Man movies before them. They had Blade.
Well, so okay,
Daredevil.
let's talk about some of those because the Spider-Man movies, the Tobey Maguire ones, 1 and 2, everyone says were really good.
Absolutely.
3, everyone pretty much overall panned because they hated the way that they had to shoehorn in Venom, and Raimi was pissed that he had to do it, and it was a shitty movie.
Yes, I'll agree. It was the worst of the 3.
The X-Men movies, the first one was okay. The second one kind of started falling off, and the third one sucked ass.
I would say I enjoyed the first one a great deal. The second one, I think, in some cases, was superior to the first one, and the third one pretty much sucked. I will say though, the reboot ones where they have the younger version of Xavier and
see, I hate those, and this is where we differ because they totally fuck the X-Men in those. Those are not X-Men movies. Those are complete alternate universe X-Men movies.
I'd say that it's a different timeline. That then
what they did with Mystique, I was so pissed about.
I didn't like the fact that Mystique that they made her a friend of Charles's and stuff like that. That they changed that around, but I do like how they kind of brought it back together later on. Like, and I think it was the third one, the second or third one, I can't remember, where they bring the timelines together.
And First Class had Havoc as one of the ones that was there with Charles, and I'm like,
I mean,
like that wasn't the First Class. There were
definitely things about that as a comic fan I was annoyed by because it was so different. But then when Days of Future Past came around and they brought Wolverine in, and I was like, oh man, no, it got immensely better. It got a lot better. And then
I don't think it got better. It was okay, but I also didn't like that storyline because I wanted it to be the original storyline. But
that being said, the X-Men did kind of help to pave the way. Spider-Man helped to pave the way. I mean, Blade, a lot of people didn't even realize that Blade was a Marvel character.
Yeah, they had no idea. Which we're going to get a new Blade movie next year.
Right. Blade was another one of those characters that was built off of the back of the movie industry.
Or in 2 years, something like that.
Yeah. The Hammer films and vampire movies were a big, were immensely successful. People loved them. And so they made horror comics that were set in the Marvel Universe. There was Werewolf by Night. There was the Dracula books. There was Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, or a mummy character. I think it was called the Living Mummy or something like that. And there was a zombie character as well. So they made these characters that were based on these various monster movies that people loved. And one of those characters that came out of the Dracula comics was Blade. And a lot of people did not realize. In fact, they didn't actually advertise it that it was a Marvel character, that Blade was a Marvel character, until it was successful. Once the movie was successful and was making money, then they're like, oh yeah, no, that's a Marvel movie, man. That's a Marvel character. Stan Lee wrote that, created that character with, Marv Wolfman or whoever it was. I think it was Marv Wolfman. And big deal, man. It was great. So, Blade was kind of was the movie that kind of kicked it all off, because I think that came out in 99. It was before the X-Men and before.
I thought it was even earlier than 99.
It was 98 or 99, and then X-Men came out in 2000. Might have been. I think that's what it was.
98.
98.
98,
Okay.
2002, and 2004, which 2004 was Ryan Reynolds auditioning to be Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, he'd been working on a long time.
But I mean,
that's
his character in Trinity was pretty much
it was Deadpool,
Wade.
essentially.
Yeah,
it was Wade. And that was the thing, you know, because the Blade movies spawned 2 sequels, and the second one actually was pretty good. The third one kind of a stinker, but it did have Ryan
was
Reynolds
it you?
in it.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what the one line was that he had. The
There's a bunch. He had a couple of really good ones.
Something juggling,
cock gobbling thunder cunt, I think.
No, I thought it was juggling. Maybe it's cock gobbling, but yeah, it's just the way he delivered it too was just.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I was just like, damn.
So that's the thing. Ryan Reynolds was working towards playing Deadpool for quite a while.
For a long time.
He played Wade Wilson in the Wolverine Origins movie, which is most people will say probably the worst X-Men movie that was made.
Yeah, they fucked Deadpool up in that. That's what everyone was so pissed off about was.
Right, and that's why
the merc with the mouth had no mouth.
Right. That's why I think in Deadpool he even goes back and he shoots himself or shoots that version of himself.
Yeah,
or whatever.
he shoots that
Deadpool
version of
too.
himself.
Yeah. But at the same time, it was the beginning of more. I mean, the following Wolverine movies were a lot better. You know, the Wolverine movie after
Renee had it. It is cock juggling thunder cunt.
Cock juggling thunder. Okay. And Logan was probably the best one that they've made, period. So I'm very excited to see how
Logan was good. I will say that. Logan was really good.
I'm going to be very excited to see how they integrate the Marvel or the X-Men into the current MCU. It's actually one of the things I'm more excited.
I want to see.
So excited about.
I'm really excited about that too. But they haven't even started with that yet.
No,
I'm excited to see how they're going to bring Fantastic Four in. I've never been a huge Fantastic Four fan. I never collected the comics or anything like that. But I watched the first 2 movies. I refused to watch that Sony abomination.
It was awful.
Yeah. The Fantastic Four movies are terrible. Yes.
No. Yeah.
And
the first 2 were passable. They were. They're like a C plus.
Yeah, I really wanted the Silver Surfer movie to be good because I love Silver Surfer. I have always loved Silver Surfer. He's been one of my favorite characters. I just really like him.
Hi, Iron Therapy. I think you're new. I don't think I've seen Iron Therapy.
He's been on before.
Okay.
Yeah, he, she. Wings Cook, Renee, CD said last week that he's going to be gone. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I think he's got some stuff going on for the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So.
I wanted FF movies to be really good too. I had a tough time with the woman that they chose to play Sue Storm.
Jessica Alba?
I like Jessica Alba. I really do. I think she's great. But I don't know. Okay. Well, cool. It's nice to see Iron Therapy. It's great to welcome to the show. But Jessica Alba's great. I actually have always liked Jessica Alba, but I didn't see her as Sue Storm.
I didn't like her as Sue Storm. Now I liked what's his name as Reed Richards.
As well, and I liked Michael Chiklis as Ben.
I thought Michael Chiklis was actually great, and I thought that Chris Evans was great as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, the rest of them were great. It was Alba. She just looked too young. She just looked too. I don't know. I wanted a woman that was maybe just skewed a little older.
I don't think she did a bad job, though.
No, she didn't do a bad job. She didn't. She did the best she could with what she was given, and I just thought she skewed a little too young for the role. And Sue Storm is supposed to be kind of milfy, honestly. To put it in a kind of a shitty term, she's supposed to be like, a little bit older. She's a mother of 2. She's her husband is actually, Reed is supposed to be a good 10 years older than her, but she's just supposed to skew a little, kind of hot mom kind of ish. And I just felt that was not
Franklin's
so much the
mom
case.
has got it going on.
Kind of. So Michael Chick was actually, he was the best. I really enjoyed Michael Chiklis as
Michael
David.
Chiklis is just awesome. I've always liked him as an
And
actor. I
and
loved him on
props
The
to-
Shield.
Right, and props to him for doing the makeup. I mean, that makeup was very
Actually,
difficult.
he's great in Gotham too.
Yeah, he's really good in Gotham. He was great in a lot. I've never disliked Michael Chiklis. He's always done great stuff. So we should probably move on. We've got a couple other things to talk about, but guys, Shang-Chi is coming out soon. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be the next huge thing, and for Marvel Comics. So we should, or for Marvel, for the MCU, be sure to check it out, and be sure to go and see, if you can, go and see Black Widow too, because unfortunately we were been bad fans and we have not come to see it yet.
I'm hoping I'm going to get to see it this weekend because I don't really have a lot going on. I know you've got fair going on, but I don't.
Yes, we're opening Ren Fair this weekend.
Yeah, I think I might be able to go find the time this weekend. I'm hoping. I got a lot of work to do on getting things set up for Tavern Nights next week, but
Right.
I'm hoping I can take a couple hours and just go chill and go just get some brain candy and watch Black Widow. Oh, excuse me.
So I've got a couple of things. The big Cyberpunk patch is coming out. We get the 1.3 patch coming up, and they're saying it's a huge patch, the biggest patch that they've made so far. This is not a patch that is going to have a bunch of new shit. It's again a bunch of big fixes. It's supposed to improve the performance and gameplay issues.
Now, I didn't read the article, but I saw an article that said that it leaves a lot to be desired, though.
I mean, they always do, but that's the thing. The critics of these games are ridiculous at times. The game is good. Now that they fixed it, the game is solid, guys. Check out Cyberpunk. It's a good game. This new patch, it says the patch notes for version 3 are absolutely massive. The 1.3, spanning gameplay improvements, performance fixes, tweaks to individual quests, and more. The patch is coming soon to PC consoles and Stadia, according to CD Projekt Red. On top of fixing issues, the same update will also deliver the first infusion of free Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. This time, dropping in new cosmetic options for V and Johnny Silverhand, as well as a new car. Not going to be a lot. It's not going to be a lot. It's just a couple of little things. The biggest changes for players who are looking for smoother game experience are improvements in dynamic scaling resolution and overall improved frame rate consistency, resulting in fewer hitches and spikes, especially during combat. CD Projekt Red adds that these changes will affect all platforms, will also be felt most profoundly on last-gen systems and lower-spec PCs. So it'll be good for the people playing it on the PS4. The patch also fixes a streaming issue that specifically affected the city center district. Beyond performance, patch 1.3 also introduced a wide range of quality of life improvements beyond the long-awaited improved mini-map. A few examples include significantly increased save slots, the ability to upgrade crafting components in bulk, and fewer messages from fixers bugging you to buy a car.
Good.
New difficulty changes mean enemies will detect you more slowly on easy and normal, and faster on very hard difficulty. So it seems the original detection time was just about hard for players who like a stealthy approach. You can find the full patch notes on CD Projekt Red's official site. There's still no release date, but hopefully we won't have to wait too much longer to find the patch in our game clients too. So I'm guessing if they're talking about it, it'll probably be within the week or two. The next week or two.
Maybe early September.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to do another playthrough, and I'm kind of
I kind of got away from it.
New stuff.
I need to get back to it. I played it a little bit. I got a new monitor, a big one, and I played that as one of the first games I played, and it looks beautiful. Although with the size of the monitor, I'm like this now. I'm like, where is everything? Because there's so much real estate now that I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it is. That's why I liked playing it on my TV, because it's just big and beautiful and huge. Funny thing is, my brother-in-law gave me a bigger monitor, but I have two monitors that are the same size, and they're good size. Mm-hmm. They're pretty good size monitors. I would love to, I'd love to. I like having two monitors that are the same size.
Oh,
And like I said, my brother-in-law, the one he gave me is a little bit bigger, so I'd have a bigger one in the middle, and I have a little bit smaller one. And there's the aesthetic of me is like, I can't do it. I need to have, eventually I'm gonna plug it in though.
well, see, I've got the big one and a smaller one. Which is what my other one was. I mean, it's not small. I mean, it's smallish now. It looks really small, but it's only it's a 23-inch.
Okay. Oh, that's nice, cool, nice
Yeah.
size.
But the new one's a 34-inch curved. So
oh, pretty.
got it on sale, man. Best Buy had a great sale, and I couldn't resist. So
I can. I just spent $3,600.
yeah, yeah. If I had just spent that on an air conditioning unit, I probably wouldn't do that either. But
right. So the cons are coming. To move on, the cons are coming, guys. New York Comic Con, C2E2, ECCC,
and we'll see if they actually happen.
Right. Now, MegaCon just happened in Orlando over the weekend. I have a couple of friends that were there, a couple of friends that attended. In fact, Scott Mullen took his t-shirts, Artworks Arcana. Guys, check out his work. And they've been saying some great things. People were really great. There was a
Florida doesn't count because DeSantis just wants all the people dead. I think
that's probably true. That's probably true.
He just doesn't give a shit.
No, he's a piece of shit, I swear. But anyway, the cons went over well. People are saying good things, and like the Grand Rapids convention, there was a small convention in Grand Rapids. People were saying, "Hey, this went over really, really well." But the cons have been releasing their health and safety protocols for COVID-19, and they're not kidding around. With a year of conventions being off the grid, they want to make sure that people can go to the cons, enjoy the cons, and be safe. So as the COVID-19 pandemic flares up again, the organizers of the New York Comic Con have confirmed new health and safety protocols for this year's show, as well as their 21 comic conventions. October's New York's Comic Con will have the most stringent COVID-19 protocols, followed closely by December's Emerald City Comic Con, ECCC, in Seattle, and December 10th through 12th, Chicago's Entertainment and Comics Expo, C2E2. Now, normally C2E2 is in the spring, but they pushed it to the winter, so that might be cool. I might be able to go to that one.
I actually want to go to. I want to go to C2E2. I think
C2E2 is great. I've been to it. It's a really great.
I think Nerds needs to make an appearance at C2E2.
I think that's a great idea. We could do that December 10th through the 12th. It's a drive to Chicago. It ain't that bad.
No, it's not.
I'll
be doing that in October.
Miami Beach's Florida SuperCon will have relatively lighter restrictions, although it takes place the soonest, September 10th through the 12th. All 4 Read Pop events will be requiring an approved face covering for everyone attending those conventions, except those actively drinking or eating, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated. All of these conventions will have a reduced capacity, and those who attend can expect to see cleaning and sanitation that meets or exceeds the recommendation for the Centers of Disease Control. All 4 conventions will have adjusted layouts and capacity management and physical distancing in mind, including one-way aisles. That is the current extent of the precautions to be taken at Read Pop's Florida SuperCon, although they could adjust their health and safety protocols anytime before or during the September 10th to 12th event.
Auntie Dawn just said DragonCon just announced that you had to show your Vax card or a negative test result for entry. And my concern with that is that all the people that are getting fake cards, and I actually saw somebody on Twitter saying, if I was somebody, I would, if I was, wasn't such a good guy, I would tell you, to go to such and such website and get a fake Vax card, but that's not me. I wouldn't tell you to go to any repeated the site again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, that's an ad. It's a dick move, man. It's a total dick move. I just my main thing is just get your fucking vaccines. It's just Jesus Christ. Well, I just don't understand.
People it's not FDA approved. In 5 to 10 years from now, when people are just dropping dead for suddenly and stuff, then who's going to be laughing then? Like, I'm not dropping dead from COVID now.
Right. The surge of the Delta variant is they're calling it a pandemic within a pandemic because it's affecting largely mostly the unvaccinated.
Yep.
And thankfully the vaccines are still good for the COVID or for the Delta variant. I heard there's a Lambda variant now, and they're saying that's even more contagious. It's like
We're
Jesus
lambda,
Christ.
lambda.
Shut up. Omega Mu. We've all watched the same movies. You want to talk about a film that could never be made?
Oh, the hell no.
Holy shit.
Nope.
That we're talking Revenge of the Nerds, ladies and gentlemen. Revenge of the Nerds.
It's not a good movie by today's standards at all.
No. So anyway, get your goddamn vaccine. Get your goddamn vaccine. Get your.
I saw a buddy of mine on Facebook posted it was a little cartoon of a syringe, and it was them like sitting on the plunger and like little squirts coming out the top, and it just said, "Fuck it, just die."
Yeah. Fuck it, just die. I mean, that's the thing. I don't want anybody dying because they have chosen not to get this. I mean, it's just
what
ridiculous.
Kills me is,
but
we're approaching 200,000 new cases.
Yeah.
Per day.
Yeah.
And the kids haven't even gone back to school yet.
Right. I'll tell you, man. I got vaccinated back in February.
Yep, I got my second one in May.
I stopped wearing my mask pretty much right around when everybody pretty much said, okay, you can stop. You don't have to wear your mask everywhere anymore. I haven't been infected. I haven't gotten COVID. Yep. I haven't been sick. Short of allergy situations, I haven't been sick the entire time.
I had food poisoning when I was in Nashville. But I
haven't even had that. I mean.
But other than that, yeah, and allergies, I've been fine. Now, am I concerned? Yes. Am I seeing more mask use lately? Yes.
Yeah.
Like I went to the store this afternoon to pick something up real quick, and there were probably I'd say probably 40% of the people were wearing masks.
Yeah.
That I saw.
My comic book shop has gone back to requiring masks in the shop.
And you know what? Oakland University has done that. When I went out there on Sunday, we didn't have to wear them on the course, anything outside. But if you went inside, like when I went in to pay for my round, I had to put a mask on.
Yeah.
Did I bitch about it? No.
Yeah.
Do I find it inconvenient? Yes. Do I think I may start wearing a mask at work again? Yes, because I'm forced to be in an office where there are thousands of people inside of our building. And I don't trust 90% of them.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 99% of them, really, to be honest. But Renee's going to physical therapy. They require masks.
It's just so frustrating because this stuff doesn't have to happen. It didn't have to
Get your vaccine, wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
We can have this done in a couple months.
God damn it.
New Zealand just had their first case in 6 months, and they're doing a hard shutdown.
Because of one case?
Yep. Because they had eliminated the virus. And because of that, they were the first country to actually announce that they had eliminated the virus in the country. They had 0 cases. This is their first case in 6 months. So the prime minister said, shut everything down. They're going to shut down for like 2 weeks, I think. I haven't looked it up, but I heard that they were shutting everything down. I would guess it's going to be for 2 weeks. They'll shut everything down. They'll get rid of the virus, and they'll go back to normal.
I don't know if it'll go back to normal, but normal-ish.
Normal-ish, yeah. They'll be watching for people coming in from other places.
I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the dumb.
I am too.
Tired of the dumb.
So we should probably move on, though, because there's a couple of things that I definitely want to talk about What If, and I think that's going to take a little bit. So, Bad Batch finale happened last week. Absolutely fantastic. If you guys are not watching The Bad Batch, you should. Even if you haven't watched Clone Wars, you should watch The Bad Batch. this is fucking awesome. And the storytelling and seeing things happening between Revenge of the Sith and Rogue One, and seeing, because that's when this all takes place, and it's basically right after Revenge of the Sith. It's fantastic. I love this show. It's been I think fantastically written. I am enjoying it even more than I thought I would. Really love the characters.
Yeah. See, I haven't watched the Clone Wars yet, so I was kind of holding off because I wanted to watch the Clone Wars. It kind of because
you don't have to.
That's a thing. I was talking to my buddy John, and John had said, the thing is, you really don't have to watch.
It helps, because there's some of the characters from Clone Wars show up.
Yes, but the thing is, I'm already well versed in the lore of Star Wars, so I mean, it's not like I'm not going to know what the little green guy is with the big ears.
Well, one of the ones that shows up it's a clone that goes by the name Rex. Rex was the commander of the clones that worked with Anakin throughout the Clone Wars. He was like that. That was Anakin's troop. Rex was the captain.
Yeah,
he shows up. So that's really, I mean, that's the kind of thing you're talking about. Is you might not know who Rex really is, but
even so, it's like I don't need to see these to enjoy the Bad Batch, and so I'm probably going to sit down relatively soon and finally watch it.
It takes a couple episodes to really get going, but once it does, man, it had me hooked. I really enjoyed it. And Wrecker's awesome. I love Wrecker. It's one of the characters in that.
Oh, okay, cool. Speaking of Star Wars, Disney Plus did recently reveal the new Star Wars Visions trailer. Have you seen this?
No, I have not seen the Visions trailer yet.
Okay, the Visions trailer it's got a star-studded voice cast.
That's where they sent they basically had a bunch of Japanese animators do Star Wars stories.
It's anime versions of,
yes.
And from the trailer, from what I kind of gathered so far, it looks really fucking cool. We've got Tamira Morrison, who voices Boba Fett in The Mandalorian, returns as the bounty hunter, along with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Neil Patrick Harris, Allison Brie, David Harbour, Henry Golding, George Takei, and Lucy Liu. Meanwhile, the studios behind the 9 episodes include Kamikaze Duga, Gino Studio Colorido, Traeger, Kinema Citrus, Science Saru, and Production IG. And the titles of the shorts are The Duel, Tatooine Rhapsody, The Twins, The Village Bride, The Ninth Jedi, T0B1, The Elder, Lop and Oko, and Akakiri. So from what I've seen in this trailer, it looks like a pretty cool anime, or at least I don't want to just say Japanese, but like Far East kind of take on the Star Wars, like the mythos surrounding Star Wars. Because it's not like, it doesn't look like it's Luke and Leia and Han. It looks like it's a bunch of various stories set in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe. And the looks are cool. And the types of animation are all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Lucasfilm is partnering with 7 of the most talented anime studios in Japan to bring their signature style and unique vision of the Star Wars galaxy to this inspired new series. Executive producer James Waugh said in a statement, "These stories showcase the full spectrum of bold storytelling found across Japanese animation, each told with a freshness and voice that expands our understanding of what a Star Wars story can be and celebrates a galaxy that has been such an inspiration to so many visionary storytellers." So fucking cool, man. I mean, I struggled against some of that stuff, sometimes because I was never been an anime guy, and to explore like anime versions of something, I don't know, but honestly, Ninja Batman was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and I've kind of opened a lot of things animation wise have opened my mind to exploring these other kind of cultural takes on our more culturally directed takes on our stuff. So I'm down. I think it's gonna be fucking cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars and stuff like that, though, I saw a meme today. Actually, I saw it a few days ago, and I thought it was hilarious. I actually almost posted it on Nerds. But it was basically, it says how today's generation or how kids today will remember Rosario Dawson, and it shows her as Asaka Tano.
Yeah.
It says how I remember or how I met Rosario Dawson, because it's how they and it shows Clerks 2, and it shows her talking to Dante, and at the bottom it says, "You never go ass to mouth."
Never go ask them out. Sometimes it's okay.
In the heat of the moment, it's okay.
In the heat of the moment.
I told ya.
It's funny you bring that up, because Vanity Fair actually put an exclusive article, the first look at Clerks 2. Spoiler, they still don't like, or excuse me, first look at Clerks 3, spoiler, they still don't like you. And there's a picture of Dante Randall, and the character that she played, and the guy who was like the nerdy guy from Clerks 2.
Ellis or Elliot, or no,
Elliot or something.
No, it wasn't Elliot. I think it was Ellis.
And it's funny because everybody's gotten a lot older, man. They're all like 49, 50 years old, except for the younger guy. And
Elias,
that was it. And Rosario Dawson, Becky.
Yeah, Becky.
I interrupt this broadcast
Yeah, but you're not on.
to ask you what you want from One-Eyed Betties.
Oh, they were ordering from one.
Hi, Stella.
Chris says hi, babe.
Hi.
You notice she like adjusted her hair.
She knew she was going to be on camera.
Right. A Betty Burger, medium well.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure. What do you want to eat?
Well, I appreciate that, honestly, because I'm getting hungry. Anyway, Clerks 3.
Come on, she could have just texted you. Your phone would have gone off. You'd have been fine.
The first look image from Clerks 3 shows they're still selling cigarettes, slushies, and skin mags while serving their life sentences at the Quick Stop. Nowadays, the pair own the store. They're joined by Dante's wife, Becky, and the formerly upbeat, formerly teenage Elias, played by Trevor Furman, who are drawn into the not-so-dynamic duo's slacker vortex in 06's Clerks 2. Time has taken a toll on them, as it has in real life for Smith, 51, whose decision to return to Clerks came by way of a severe heart attack 3 years ago. The film is predicated on the idea that Randall survives a heart attack, a massive heart attack, quite like I did, and then winds up, deciding that he's wasted his life, Smith tells Vanity Fair. But before he dies, he wants to memorialize himself. He wants to make a movie. So our boys essentially wind up making Clerks. So, that could be fucking cool. I mean, dude, I'll see this movie either way. I will
too. Movies. I mean, I am invested in the Jerseyverse.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be released by Lionsgate. It's currently shooting in Leonardo, New Jersey, at the same location as the original.
Yep.
Unlike the first movie, this one will be in color, but the whole movie that pair make will be in black and white, like the classic. That allows us to reshoot so many of the key moments from Clerks in their movie. Randall's movie is called Inconvenience. Smith says Smith is eager to see the internet mash up the versions of these shots.
That was one of his early titles for his movie, I think, for Clerks, was Inconvenience.
I think, I can't wait. I loved Clerks 1, I loved Clerks 2, and I'm sure I'm going to love Clerks 3.
I don't remember if I mentioned this. I think I might have. But when they started filming, some kids in a local neighborhood there put up a lemonade stand and called it Clerks Jr. And we're charging 50 cents for lemonade. There's a picture. Kevin Smith posted a picture on Instagram, and I think he put it on Twitter too. And basically, it's him posing with the kids with a glass of lemonade. And the caption was, "Yesterday when we were shooting Clerks 3 in Atlantic Highlands, these industrious young entrepreneurs opened a lemonade stand near our set, called it Clerks Jr. Their marketing totally worked, resulting in our crew spending much money there. Then I called my lawyer and sent all the kids a cease and desist order."
All right, that's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. All right, listen, we got to move on because I obviously got food coming, but we do want to talk about What If.
Yeah, What If? Fucking fantastic starting episode.
Unbelievably good.
And I guess this is something that they had planned from the beginning. that they knew that Captain Carter was going to be the linchpin and the focal point for this entire series. To the point where they already have plans of bringing her back next season. They said this is going to be a character that they revisit every season and continue her story.
Cool, awesome. But let's talk about the graphic element. Okay, the animation is so smooth.
Well, actually, let's start with, if you don't know, What If is basically a comic series that starred the Watcher, as I saw a video today, the largest baby in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, wrong.
Basically, the Watchers are a group that
they're an alien.
They're an alien group that watch history happen and record it. They do not interfere. The one time they interfered, I guess it resulted in nuclear war. And so they don't interfere at all. They just let things happen and record it. And what this is basically, it's now taking the multiverse and saying the future isn't set. One little thing can change everything and create multiple branches. And that's what this whole story is about, is what happens if one thing changes.
Right, exactly. This is a direct result, honestly, of Loki's manipulation of the timeline.
Well, I don't think it's a direct result of Loki's manipulation. This is something that's always happened. It's just that now that we've been introduced to the multiverse in Loki, they can kind of come forward with this and say, okay, here's all the different branches, and we can play around with them now.
Right, exactly. But I mean, visually it was stunning. It was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, in this episode, we see what happens when the spy acted sooner than in Captain America. The spy acted quicker than he had in the movie.
It's actually that Peggy, the key moment is Peggy staying with Steve.
Right, you're right, exactly. She stays on the ground instead of up in the observing booth or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. It forces and she notices the spy sooner, and so he activates the bomb sooner. Steve gets wounded and can't go in the machine, and they find Dr. Erskine.
He actually gets shot.
Yeah, he gets shot. He gets wounded, and she's like, he can't go in. And you got Howard Stark is like, we're losing power. We got to do this now. We're never going to be able to do it.
Because the whole place is on fire.
The whole place is on fire, exactly. So Peggy goes, you know what? Let's do it. And she jumps in the machine. And of course, the colonel or whatever, he's like, you can't do this. And she's like, hey, we got no other choice. So she jumps in the machine and she becomes the super soldier. And
almost like She-Hulking.
Yeah, she gets bigger and stronger. And now the interesting thing is, once again, it shows how women were treated in wartime. They were nurses, they were support staff, but they were not soldiers, and particularly during World War II.
And he brings that up, the colonel brings that up at one point. He even says that he's like, women are not soldiers, and they sure as hell don't fight on the front lines.
Right, and it was very much kind of a depiction of the dog again.
Yep.
A depiction of what. I mean, kind of showing us, how toxic
what the sexism was at the time.
Yeah. So finally, she does kind of step up, and she's like, "Okay, you know what? This is it." And Howard helps her too. Thankfully, Howard, being the progressive person that he was, gives her the uniform that she had, and it was this great stylized British uniform, British kind of.
Although the thing is that she was an American. She was in the American military at the time.
I think she was a British attaché.
She was in the movies, but in there she actually had U.S. on her lapels. She was actually a member of the U.S. military in there. That's why I didn't understand it. It made sense if you went with her as just being a British attaché.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I'd have to watch it again. I've been meaning to watch it again.
I plan on watching it multiple times. So
it was extremely well done. The animation was a blend of cel-drawn animation with and computer animated techniques that made it a very three-dimensional, but also gave it a very kind of very attractive cell drawn animation kind of look.
And all of the characters looked so much like their actual real life selves.
Yeah, very much. So.
I mean, scary so in some of it.
They also got a lot of the original actors back to do.
Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. So Haley Atwell did come back to play Agent Carter again in this role.
Chris Evans did not do Steve.
Now it's interesting too to note, like, they went after the Tesseract. They went to get the Tesseract back, and they did end up getting it. And I mean, we saw some really cool stuff. We saw Howard Stark create a prototype or an early form of what would essentially become the Iron Man armor, but it was more like a big, huge walking tank that you didn't wear so much as you climbed inside. And Steve got to pilot it.
It was the Nazi Buster.
Yeah, they call it or something.
Not like Nazi Stomper.
And they but I thought that was really cool, kind of to bring that around. It had like Steve still got to be the hero, or at least some kind of hero. His armor was powered by the Tesseract, and then and a friend of mine also pointed out the fact that how strong Carter seemed to be. She seemed to be a lot stronger than Steve as Captain America.
Hydra Stomper, that's what it was. It was a Hydra Stomper.
That's it. And she was essentially throwing cars. She's much stronger. Now, I said to him, I go, well, the thing is, Steve Rogers was a sickly little guy. If he had been a strong, in shape person, he'd probably, once he went through the process of doing the super soldier serum, he probably would have been superhuman. He probably would have been even stronger and more fit and everything else. But the thing is about the super soldier serum is that it takes what's inside you and it makes it better. So, I mean, Steve,
what's his name? Erskine, yeah, made that point. In the movie. Right? And that you're a good man. And that's more important than a good soldier. And that's what we talked about during the whole Falcon and Winter Soldier thing,
right?
Is that Steve Rogers was a good man.
Right.
But what's his name?
John Walker.
John Walker. I was thinking of the actor's name, and I'm like, that's not his name. Was a good soldier.
Right.
And that's the difference between them. You see what happens.
Right. I don't think John Walker was necessarily a bad man.
He wasn't a bad man. He was just a good soldier. He wasn't a good man. He was a good soldier.
I think he was, I think that's a misnomer. I think he was still a good man. He just wasn't the same caliber. It wasn't the same level as Steve, I think that was also,
he wasn't what
different eras
what
and stuff.
Erskine was saying was
exactly. It's not the same. You're right. But I don't think he was a villain or an evil man. He just wasn't the same kind of.
No, and honestly, it kind of brought out more of like a roid rage type of thing in him.
Right. So anyway, guys, check out What If. We're going to see some more great stuff. I think the next one is going to be featuring Black Panther, or at least T'Challa.
Yeah, it's going to be the what if T'Challa was kidnapped by the Ravagers,
right, and became Star-Lord.
Which is the last thing that Chadwick Boseman did.
Correct.
Before he passed.
Although I do hear he voiced 3 different versions of T'Challa in the future episodes coming.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he's in this main episode, and then he has smaller appearances.
I watched a thing on Nerdist, and it was basically the Easter eggs and stuff like that that's in Agent, which is in this latest one, Agent Carter, or Captain Carter. But and they said that there's this whole thing that it looks like they're setting it up so that basically the Watcher is building a team to tell a story about, and that they think that Carter could be part of it because there's other scenes of her with Doctor Strange and things like that, and there's lots of talk about what that creature was, because a lot of this stuff. One of the things that I really liked about this What If, and I know we got to kind of wrap things up because you got stuff going on, but one of the things I really liked about this one was the parallels, the constant parallels with Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yeah. Oh yeah. of
and
course.
Avengers, because I mean, like when she gets put on the sidelines and she's hitting the heavy bag and just punches it and knocks
Yeah.
it off the wall, just like
Yeah.
Steve did when he was frustrated in the Avengers at the beginning
I
of the
loved how
Avengers.
she kept flipping up the weights, the
Oh, and
curling weights
throwing
and
them at the
stuff, and
wall.
throwing them like a frisbee, like
Yeah.
a fucking shield. You know, that
Well,
was so cool.
and at one point Steve says, "Well, you know, it could be worse. I could have you on the USO tour."
Yeah,
Yeah, and making comments
See,
like that, and
that's the thing, and that was one of the cool things about the What If stories is they harkened back to certain story elements and certain story points that were more or less kind of it was almost like they were destined to happen.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, and like when she goes and saves the Howling Commandos,
right,
and just
exactly.
like
and,
Steve
and
did,
saves Bucky
and save Bucky, and then they bust in, and it's an exact replica of that scene. I mean, when she comes out of the when she gets the serum, and they open it up, it's an exact duplicate of the scene from First Avenger.
right.
It's
Exactly.
I mean, there are so many of those, and the fact that the animators were able to capture every one of those scenes that way, I think was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was just this is extremely well done. I was so fucking jazzed.
There are a ton of people online now that are screaming. They're like, "You need to bring Haley Atwell back, and we need a Captain Carter movie." They're like, "We want this," which I don't think is ever going to happen, but I think it would be cool. The other thing a lot of people are one of the things I saw was how much her outfit that Stark gave her was reminiscent of Captain Britain.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the
It's
fact
very
that she
much
winds up with a
like-
sword, even.
Yeah, I love that too. That was really great.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please drop the sword.
That was really, really fucking cool too.
Because that's the thing.
He's like, it's like, sir, that's Captain Carter. You know, it's like Hawkeye recognized.
Well, and the thing is that it's actually Samuel L. Jackson and Jeremy Renner doing the voices there. Sebastian Shaw. Was it Sebastian Shaw?
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan did the voice for Bucky. Really, the only big one that didn't come back, Hugo Weaving didn't come back to do the Red Skull, and
he won't.
Right,
apparently.
and Chris Evans didn't come back to do Cap.
Steve.
Steve. But those are the only two. All the other main characters, they were all back. Well, Stanley Tucci didn't do Erskine either, I don't think.
True, yeah. But still a great cast though. The people they got to replace them was really great.
Yeah.
So, once again, just really fantastic, guys.
It really was. It was.
Check it out.
It was even better than I thought it was gonna be. I was really looking forward to it, and I was blown away. The other thing is, I guess Disney has put up a countdown. I haven't looked yet to see, but I guess they have a countdown somewhere for the Hawkeye premiere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
when is it? Do you know?
Because that's the next one we get. I think it's October.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be 9 episodes. I think it is for What If. So we'll get this through the end of September, and I think Hawkeye starts mid-October.
Now I did hear. I think I heard originally that it is one less episode that they thought it was going to be. So
yeah, I think it was originally going to be 10, and it's actually only going to be 9.
Something about COVID having slowing down production or something like that. So on one of the episodes.
I'm looking for the release date for Hawkeye now, because I'm sure it's out there. Oh, November 24th, so it's just before Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a little time between when What If ends and when Hawkeye starts.
Aha. All right. So
we'll have 2 movies in between there.
Exactly. We have Eternals
and Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. I know I've been calling him Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi since I was a kid. It's a weird thing. So
yeah, because the Eternals is November 5th.
I can't wait. It's gonna be so awesome.
I want to see how they explain that the Eternals that weren't around, and that Endgame wasn't enough to bring them out.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of those things that made me go,
Yeah. Well, we've been in hiding, and we've been waiting for the right time. Wait, the end of half of existence wasn't enough to bring you out?
Yeah. But guys, yeah, we should wrap things up. Like I said, unfortunately, it's a weird night. I've got some extra people over, and I got food coming. So
Hey,
we should kind of wrap things up.
How's the one last thing, a couple last things. One, I was going to ask you, how's the logo coming?
You bastard, you know that?
Will we have it by the 5th anniversary?
Yes.
That's all
When's our 5th anniversary? It's in October, November.
Yeah, well, it depends on when we first released was the first weekend in November, but when we actually started recording was like the second week in October.
Yes, I will. It's just a matter of me inking it. I will put it together, and I found it again in my stack of drawings. So I just gotta take a picture or scan it or whatever, and I'll get it taken care of.
Or you could just redraw it on your tablet. It's not like it.
You're right. It's not that complicated. I probably could just do it from scratch.
And the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to raise a glass and say goodbye and good luck to Brian W. Foster.
Absolutely.
Who you may know through Critical Role. He was the behind the scenes guy, did Talks Machina,
hosted a lot of
the show, did the Game Ranch with Travis on their channel and stuff. Really funny guy. He is moving on to do other things, some things that he wants to do. So good luck to you, Brian. You're a funny guy. You've done a lot to help support them. But yeah, good luck to you in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. Sláinte to you, man.
Yeah, sláinte.
So guys, be sure to check us out in all the places you can find quality podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and the Odyssey app. You can also find us at download and stream us at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. And we are here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on our Twitch channel here, Drinking Nerds. We put out the episode a few days later on our YouTube channel, also called Drinking Nerds. Come and check us out, guys. We are looking for maybe 3 or 4 more subscribers.
Let's go 5 just to be safe.
5 would be nice to get us to that next level on stream on Twitch. So that'd be really great. Tell all your friends about us. Come see us.
Affiliate status.
Exactly, affiliate status. A lot of fun.
So yeah, and we're on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds. We are on Instagram, Drinking Nerds. And then if you're on Untapped, the beer drinking app, you can just search for Drinking Nerds. Send us a friend request, and we will get you added on there. We're not on TikTok. We're not on any of those. So.
You know, I just loaded TikTok onto my phone. Actually, it wasn't even an accident. My butt did it.
Your butt wants to do TikTok?
Apparently, my butt wants to do TikTok.
You gonna start doing videos with your butt on TikTok?
What? In my butt. I put my phone in my pocket, and then it just kind of happened to go. You know, it installed TikTok. You know, and I went, oh, for God's sake. And then, but I've been like kind of looking at shit, and you know, I'm probably not going to start doing TikToks, but it was just kind of funny. So. Auntie Dawn, thanks, Auntie Dawn.
Yeah, Renee follows people on TikTok, but I don't do the TikToks.
You don't do the TikToks?
Yeah, Renee, I love TikTok. Yeah.
The thing is you can see a lot of people's TikToks on Instagram. They cross pollinate. Yeah. But now I can actually see the TikToks without like Instagram cutting them off, because a lot of times it cuts them off at a minute or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know.
Should we do TikTok?
No.
We're too old for TikTok.
We're too old for TikTok. Yeah. So, anywho's, listen. Oh man, I'm getting pictures on my phone now. I gotta split. All right, we should say goodnight.
All right. I think on that note.
And that note.
Until next time. Sláinte. That was a pretty good one.
Good night.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.